Hey guys, it's Mr. Sean. Before we get started today, I want to give a shout out to my biggest supporters, J-Dog and Patty Slaps. Thank you both so much for your continued support. And if you'd like to get your name shouted out alongside J-Dog and Patty Slaps at the start of one video each week, you can join either the Beta Club over on Patreon or the Beta Tomorrow Society here on YouTube. Enjoy the video, everyone.
Hey, now folks, come gather round, see what Mr. Sean has found. Recovered relics, come and have a look around. Recovered relics, stories lost, but now they're found. 'Cause the coolest thing you'll see is lost media history. Old treasures, mysteries galore. Who knows what secrets are in store? Recovered relics, come on, it's about to start.
Welcome back to the channel, Chimera crew, and happy 2025 to you all. Today we are going to have a supercut of all of last year's, all 12 episodes so far, of Recovered Relics. Following yesterday's Supercut lesser known Lost Media Marathon, I figured, we covered the Lost, let's start the new year with the Found, and hopefully 2025 will be an even better year for Lost Media. What you're about to see is the first 12 episodes of Recovered Relics, only with the intros and outros cut out in basically a supercut, as I previously mentioned. Be sure to leave your likes, your comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. And with all that being said, let's get started.
If you're not careful and you clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, and the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
The image on screen and corresponding text are known to many of you as the origin of the Backrooms. A creepypasta about a purgatory-like labyrinth one can become trapped in forever. While the origins of the Backrooms themselves can be easily traced to a 2019 4chan thread, for a long time the origin of the image remained a mystery. Until recently. Welcome to the strange, eerie world of the Backrooms. What started as a single image and a short description on 4chan has exploded into a sprawling multimedia phenomenon. In this video, we'll explore the origins of the Backrooms, its rise through the internet, and how a small but determined community finally uncovered the mysterious origin of the image that started it all. The Backrooms began on May 12, 2019 in an anonymous post on 4chan's X-board dedicated to paranormal topics. A user requested images that felt off. Those unsettling, empty spaces that seemed to hint at something just out of sight. One reply caught everyone's attention. A picture of a large, carpeted room with yellowish walls bathed in harsh fluorescent light. It had no windows, no furniture, just an eerie, uncomfortable emptiness. But the post didn't stop at the image. Another user added a description that sparked the birth of the Backrooms concept. They described this place as an endless maze, a purgatory of sorts, that you could accidentally enter by no clipping out of reality. It was an unsettling place with the smell of damp carpet, the buzz of fluorescent lights, and an overwhelming sense of isolation. This simple description was enough to ignite the imaginations of countless internet users. Within days of the original post, the Backrooms began to take on a life of its own. Fans across 4chan, Reddit, and other forums started expanding on the idea. They introduced concepts like levels, each with its own rules, architecture, and dangers. For example, Level 1 has industrial architecture, while Level 2 is dark with long service tunnels that stretch endlessly. Not only were there new levels introduced, but soon the Backrooms became populated with hostile creatures, transforming what was once an empty, liminal space into a place of existential horror. Communities like Reddit's r/Backrooms grew rapidly, with members contributing stories, fan art, and theories about this bizarre and unsettling world. As with many internet phenomena, however, factions developed within the community. Some fans embraced the evolving lore, while others preferred the simplicity and ambiguity of the original idea. This led to the creation of a separate subreddit, r/True Backrooms, focused on preserving the original, pure version of the concept. But the true breakout moment for the Backrooms came in early 2022, when 16-year-old YouTuber Kane Parsons, also known as Kane Pixels, released a short horror film titled The Backrooms Found Footage. Set in the 1990s, the video follows a filmmaker who accidentally no-clips into the Backrooms and finds himself being hunted by a mysterious entity. The video, which presented as an eerie VHS recording, went viral, racking up millions of views and taking the Backrooms concept to a whole new audience. Kane's videos continued to build on the world of the Backrooms, introducing new elements like Async, a fictional organization researching the space. Kane's series not only helped push the Backrooms into the mainstream, but also garnered critical acclaim. It was praised for its minimalist analog horror style, and Kane's ability to create tension with just a few key elements such as empty spaces, strange noises, and an ever-present sense of danger. Today the series has over 100 million collective views, and Kane is set to direct an A24-backed film adaptation based on his work. While the Backrooms continued to grow in popularity, one mystery remained unsolved for years. Where did that iconic yellow room image come from? For the longest time, no one could pinpoint its origin. Internet detectives scoured the web, tracing false leads and hitting dead ends. Some speculated that it might have been part of a liminal space photo series, or even an ARG. But nothing concrete ever came to light until 2024. In May of this year, a breakthrough occurred. A group of dedicated fans on the Virtual World Discord server finally found the origin of the image. It turned out that the famous photo had been taken during renovations at a Hobbytown store in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, back in 2002. The second floor of the building had been converted into a space for radio-controlled car racing, and the image, originally labeled as DSC00161.jpg, was taken during that process. The strange angle, empty room, and yellowed walls were just the result of an unfinished interior, never intended to become an internet legend. These days, the Backrooms have firmly cemented themselves as a cornerstone of internet horror. Its influence can be seen in various media, from fan-made games to TikTok videos zooming in on Google Earth to reveal Backrooms entrances. It has also been recognized as a part of a broader liminal space aesthetic that emphasizes eerie, uninhabited locations, spaces that seem familiar but are disturbingly out of place. The Backrooms may have started as a creepy image on 4chan, but it has since grown into a rich collaborative mythology that has captivated millions. It taps into a primal fear, the fear of being lost in a space that feels almost, but not quite, real. With a feature film on the way, and countless creators still expanding the lore, the future of the Backrooms is both exciting and terrifying.
Crybaby Lane is a made-for-TV comedy horror film that originally aired on Nickelodeon's SNCC programming block on October 28th of the year 2000 as part of its Halloween lineup. Directed by Peter Lauer and co-written by Lauer and Robert Mittenthal, the film was intended to be a fun, spooky treat for young audiences. The story follows a young boy named Andrew and his older brother Carl, who perform a seance in a graveyard to impress a group of girls. In the process, they accidentally release the evil spirit of a dead Siamese twin. The evil twin wreaks havoc on the town by possessing people and turning everything it touches evil. As the chaos escalates, Andrew must find a way to stop the malevolent force, eventually traveling to Crybaby Lane to cut the root out of the heart of the good twin and end the reign of terror. The production of the film had initially been envisioned as a theatrical release with a budget of $10 million. However, Nickelodeon's parent company, Paramount, decided to shelve the project. A year later, Nickelodeon revived the idea, but with a significantly reduced budget of $800,000, making it a low-budget TV production instead of a big-screen film. Filming took place over 20 days, with some shots done in Ohio and others in New Jersey. Despite its modest origins, the film's single airing became infamous because it mysteriously disappeared afterwards, never receiving a home media release or international broadcast. It would not be aired again for over a decade. After its original airing, Crybaby Lane vanished from Nickelodeon's schedule. The network did not release the movie on any form of home media, and no reruns were scheduled. Additionally, the film was never aired outside the United States, which further contributed to its mystique. In the early 2000s, the movie became the subject of wild speculation and urban legends. According to rumors, Crybaby Lane was banned because parents complained it was too disturbing for children. Allegedly, so many parents protested its content that Nickelodeon disowned the films, with some employees reportedly going as far as to deny its existence. There were even claims that Nickelodeon stated the film had aired by accident, creating a narrative of the movie being too dark and inappropriate for its intended young audience. This mystery only deepened as fans of the film launched forums and discussion groups in an effort to prove the movie had aired. When contacted, Nickelodeon either denied knowledge of the film or claimed it had never existed. Despite this, fans remained certain of its existence, bolstered by fragmentary memories and secondhand accounts. Over the years, people began to mythologize the film, claiming it contained far scarier content than it actually did, including alleged scenes of disturbing psychological horror. The mystery surrounding Crybaby Lane eventually gained traction in other online communities. Forums and fan sites dedicated to lost media discussed the film extensively, and it became a staple of early internet urban legends. As is often the case with lost media, the more elusive the film became, the more people exaggerated its content. Some even suggested that it contained subliminal messages or grotesque imagery, further fueling its status as a piece of forbidden media. At its peak, Crybaby Lane was talked about in the same breath as other infamous lost or banned films, and many began to believe it had never been aired at all. The film's disappearance only added to the mystique, creating a narrative of censorship that gave the movie an aura of taboo. In 2011, the legend of Crybaby Lane finally came to a head when a Reddit user with the handle Fire Salad Peach posted on the forum claiming to possess a bootleg VHS recording of the film's original airing. This was a game changer for the Crybaby Lane mythos. The user shared the online recording, uploading it to file sharing sites and YouTube, where it quickly garnered attention. Fans, both those who remembered the film and those who had only heard rumors, were finally able to watch it. The Reddit thread's popularity likely prompted Teen Nick to re-air the movie on October 31st of 2011 as part of its retro programming block. In the lead up to the broadcast, Nickelodeon embraced the mysterious legacy of Crybaby Lane, marketing it as Nickelodeon's Dark Secret, and humorously claiming that the film was banned from TV because it was too scary. The re-airing drew in nostalgic viewers and dispelled many of the exaggerated myths that had built up around the film over the years. During its 2011 airing, Crybaby Lane was re-rated from its original TVY7 to TVPG-V, signifying the film's content was now seen as more mature than it was in 2000. Interestingly, in subsequent airings, such as in 2017, Nickelodeon chose to drop the rating entirely. Director Peter Lauer, upon hearing of the film's resurgence, was surprised by the attention. In interviews, he expressed that he had no idea the film had been banned or the subject of so much controversy, admitting that he assumed Nickelodeon simply didn't like it enough to re-air it. A Nickelodeon representative later clarified that the film was never banned, disowned, or destroyed. It had merely been forgotten. For all the hype and mystery surrounding it, Crybaby Lane was, in reality, a rather tame horror film for kids. The plot centers on an urban legend, a trope familiar to many Nickelodeon viewers through shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark? The film successfully creates a spooky atmosphere with minimal resources, relying on eerie silences, shadows, and the simple but effective folklore of the evil twin. However, by modern standards, the film's scares are mild. The acting, while serviceable, does not elevate the film beyond its modest expectations. Frank Langella, who plays the local Undertaker, provides the most memorable performance, lending a gravitas to the role that contrasts with the otherwise campy tone. The younger actors do their best with the material, though the script and direction are far from groundbreaking. The film's pacing is slow, with the supernatural elements taking time to build, which could frustrate viewers looking for more overt horror. The minimal special effects also underscore the film's low budget, with most of the scares being implied rather than shown. In the context of the urban legend that built up around it, Crybaby Lane is decidedly less frightening than its reputation suggests. Ultimately, Crybaby Lane has achieved a cult following, more for the mystery and intrigue surrounding its disappearance than for the film itself. Its rediscovery and subsequent re-airing became a case study in how lost media can grow in legend and how the internet can elevate forgotten pieces of culture into objects of obsession. In this sense, Crybaby Lane holds a unique place in television history, a film that was more fascinating for being lost than for what it actually contained. Though its production quality and scares may not hold up to the expectations built by its mythology, Crybaby Lane remains a nostalgic piece of Halloween programming for a generation of Nickelodeon viewers. Its legacy as Nickelodeon's Dark Secret continues to endure, cementing its status as a cult classic.
In the early 1990s, anime was beginning to find an international audience, especially in the West. Among the many series that gained immense popularity, Sailor Moon, created by Naoko Takeuchi, stood out as a cultural phenomenon. With its blend of magical girl elements, action, and themes of friendship and empowerment, the series had significant appeal across demographic lines. As it grew in popularity in Japan, there was a natural interest in adapting it for the Western market. Toei Animation, the Japanese company behind Sailor Moon, partnered with American company Toon Makers in an attempt to create a version of the show tailored specifically for American audiences. Rather than simply translating and dubbing the Japanese anime, Toon Makers decided to produce a hybrid, live-action animated show. This approach was influenced by successful franchises like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which had combined Japanese footage with American storylines and actors to great commercial success. Now, the American Sailor Moon pilot departed significantly from its Japanese counterpart, most notably its hybrid format. Unlike the fully animated original, the American version featured live action sequences for the girls' everyday lives and animated segments for their superhero transformations. This hybrid approach was considered a way to blend Western sensibilities with animated action sequences. There was also cultural localization. The 5 Sailor Guardians were not Japanese, but a diverse group of American girls. The producers aimed to represent various ethnicities to appeal to a broader US audience. The main character, Usagi Tsukino, Sailor Moon, was renamed Victoria, and her teammates' names and backgrounds were similarly altered. And of course, with the localization to a Western audience, there was Western superhero influence. Rather than sticking closely to the magical girl tropes of the original, the American pilot leaned into Western superhero conventions. This involved altering not just the storylines, but also the dynamics between the characters, making them more like a team of Western-style action heroes. Two of the most notable additions of this kind were the rebranding. Instead of Sailor Scouts, they were now known as Princess Fighters, and they traveled on Sky Flyers, a space-age vehicle added to appeal to the American audience. Toon Makers created a 17-minute pilot, as well as were in production of 3 additional episodes before these 3 episodes ultimately were never completed due to them being able to secure funding, as well as no one showing interest in picking up the show. Now, all of that, the pilot, the show not being picked up for distribution, all of that occurred in 1993, and around the same time, DiC Entertainment secured the rights to dub and distribute the original Japanese Sailor Moon anime in the United States, opting for a more straightforward localization approach, editing, censoring, and translating for an American audience. This is the Sailor Moon most people were introduced to in the 90s. The DiC dub was extremely popular, and basically caused the Toon Makers project to fall into obscurity. The only trace of the project that remained in circulation was a 2-minute promotional music video which combined live action and animated elements and featured an original theme song. This video was shown at conventions such as Anime Expo 1998 and eventually became available online. However, the full 17-minute pilot remained elusive, and for years, fans speculated about its existence and quality. One of the biggest hurdles in obtaining the pilot or having it released publicly was due to ownership and copyright limbo. Now, Toon Makers had been granted temporary adaptation rights to Sailor Moon by Toei Animation and Bandai, but the rights reverted back to these companies after the project was shelved. Over the years, Toon Makers president Rocky Solidoff gave several interviews confirming that the pilot did still exist and was part of the company's demo reel, but could not be publicly shown due to copyright issues. He suggested that the footage was likely in the hands of either Toei, Bandai, or former Toon Makers employees, placing the pilot in a kind of copyright limbo. This uncertainty fueled rumors that the footage had either been lost or destroyed. Now, some headway was made in 2012 when production materials, including animation cells, concept art, and scripts related to the American Sailor Moon project, surfaced on auction sites after the contents of a Toon Maker's storage locker were sold following the arrest of Raymond Lakovashi, a former employee. Despite this tantalizing discovery, the pilot itself still remained lost. The American Sailor Moon pilot's status as one of the most sought-after pieces of lost media persisted for decades until YouTuber Raymona embarked on a quest to track it down. In 2022, Raymona released a 2-part documentary series titled The Western World of Sailor Moon on her YouTube channel, chronicling her search for the lost pilot. With the help of Kotaku journalist Cecilia D'Anastasio, Raymona was able to locate a copy of the pilot in the Library of Congress. After After successfully petitioning for access, she was granted permission to release the pilot on YouTube and archive.org, where it was made publicly available without watermarks. This marked the first time in nearly 3 decades that fans could watch the entire 17-minute pilot, along with behind-the-scenes footage of its production. The rediscovery was a major event for both Sailor Moon fans and the Lost Media community. It provided a long-awaited look at a pivotal moment in the history of anime localization and offered insight into how differently Sailor Moon could have been adapted for Western audiences. Upon its rediscovery, fans were struck by how drastically different the Toon Maker's pilot was from the Japanese Sailor Moon anime. The live-action segments were reminiscent of Power Rangers, with over-the-top costuming and a campy tone. The animated portions, while ambitious in their own right, lacked the elegance and detailed artistry of the original Sailor Moon anime. The animation style was more in line with Western cartoons of the time, with a rougher, more action-oriented look. Now, that's not to say this American version didn't have any strengths. One of the most notable aspects was the diversity and representation. It was, the attempt to represent a diverse cast of characters. Each Sailor Guardian was from a different ethnic background, which was a progressive move in the 1990s. Also, even featuring one of the Sailor Scouts both in her live-action and cartoon form, as in a wheelchair in our world, and in the animated world, she had a flying kind of personal spacecraft. And this was all well before modern conversations about diversity in media became mainstream, so it was very ahead of its time in that aspect. It also must be noted how ambitious this project was. It was not just some cheap recreation. There was definitely some thought and effort put behind this. The hybrid approach combining live action with animation was bold, and while it ultimately didn't succeed, it showed the producers' willingness to take creative risks and adapt anime to a different cultural context. That being said, the weaknesses were pretty glaring. There was definitely an inconsistent tone, the juxtaposition of live action and animation did not work seamlessly, and the shifts between the two felt jarring, and the live action segments seemed overly campy compared to the more serious animated portions. The other notable weakness was the loss of Sailor Moon's core elements. The core appeal of Sailor Moon is its magical girl themes, emotional depth, and iconic art style, and this was definitely lost in translation. The pilot was far more action-driven, and it definitely lacked the emotional resonance of the original. Who's to say if this had gotten picked up, they might have changed that, as the pilot was definitely just made to garner interest in the project, but ultimately it just kind of fell flat emotionally. This pilot is so much more than just a failed 90s cartoon. The Toon Maker's Sailor Moon pilot represents a key moment in the history of anime localization. Had it been successful, it might have reshaped how anime was adapted for Western audiences. Its failure, however, led to the more faithful DeK dub, which allowed Sailor Moon to retain much of its Japanese identity while still appealing to Western viewers. The pilot's legacy, then, is one of missed opportunity and creative miscalculation, and ultimately that is good, though, because the success of the DeK dub of Sailor Moon showed people in America, particularly studios, that American audiences would accept anime without changing it too much. You didn't have to make it, X-Men or Batman the Animated Series. You could keep it as it was, and the audiences would still accept it with a bit of localization and, of course, the dub, because we all hate subtitles. Still, it is interesting to see what it could have been, but I do ultimately think we are better for having, this one having failed. It is still important because there are two ways anything could go. And in the Lost Media community itself, the rediscovery of the pilot in 2022 was a significant event in the Lost Media community, marking the resolution of one of the longest-running searches for lost content. Ray Mona's efforts, alongside the enthusiasm of online fan communities, show the power of collaborative research and the persistence of fans in unearthing forgotten pieces of media history. The pilot also highlights the complexities of media ownership, as it languished in copyright limbo for decades, inaccessible to the public due to uncertainty over who held the rights to release it. Its discovery underscores the importance of archival preservation and the need for clearer guidelines on media ownership, particularly for projects that were never released commercially. The story of the Toon Maker's Sailor Moon pilot offers a fascinating lens into the cultural dynamics of the 1990s and the challenges of adapting anime for Western audiences at the time. Its rediscovery in 2022 by Ray Mona provided fans with a long-awaited glimpse into an alternate version of Sailor Moon, one that was ultimately rejected in favor of a more faithful adaptation. The pilot stands as a cultural artifact of its time, a relic of the early attempts to bridge the gap between Japanese and American entertainment. In both its field of media and within the lost media community, the Toon Maker's Sailor Moon pilot serves as a symbol of how elusive lost media can be, and the enduring passion of fans to preserve and uncover forgotten pieces of media history. Sesame Street Episode 847, commonly called the Wicked Witch episode, stands as one of the most compelling cases of lost and rediscovered media in children's television. Originally airing on PBS on February 10, 1976, it features the Wicked Witch of the West, played by Margaret Hamilton, reprising her iconic role from the Wizard of Oz movie from 1939. Created to help children confront their fears, the episode faced backlash for its unsettling impact on young viewers, leading to its immediate removal from syndication. Its journey from a controversial episode to a piece of lost media and eventually to a fully accessible online episode captures the essence of lost media culture and emphasizes the importance of preserving even controversial or challenging media for future generations. So let's begin. The Children's Television Workshop, CTW, had a mission to educate children on multiple levels, from academic basics to social and emotional skills. By 1976, Sesame Street's curriculum had expanded to cover not just literacy and numeracy, but also affective or emotional learning. Episode 847 was created to help children manage fear and see the Wicked Witch as a fictional, non-threatening character. The show's plot centers around the Wicked Witch accidentally losing her broom on Sesame Street, leading to encounters with several beloved characters. Her intimidating persona was intentionally countered by having her character interact with bravery, kindness, and humor from the residents like Big Bird and David. The episode was meant to empower children to confront frightening situations, using the exaggerated personality of the Wicked Witch to encourage resilience and bravery. Margaret Hamilton was well known for her portrayal of the Wicked Witch in the Wizard of Oz film. At the time, she had also appeared on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where Fred Rogers sought to demystify her character, even appearing as herself without makeup to assure children that the Wicked Witch was merely a fictional role. While her return as the witch on Sesame Street was intended to reinforce this idea, the intensity of her original character proved more intimidating than planned for a young, impressionable audience. Upon its original airing, episode 847 elicited an unprecedented reaction from parents, who inundated CTW with letters expressing outrage over their children's responses. Children reportedly exhibited intense fear reactions, with parents describing them as experiencing screams and tears when watching the episode. The unexpected intensity of the children's reactions was alarming enough that the CTW decided to pull the episode from rotation, opting to prevent further trauma rather than risk impacting Sesame Street's reputation as a safe, educational show. After the episode's initial airing, CTW held test screenings in March of 1976 to further analyze the effects on children. While the young audience displayed notable engagement during the witch's scenes, the CTW was unable to confirm whether this engagement indicated genuine fear or simply high interest. Ultimately, with no conclusive evidence to dispel parental complaints, CTW chose not to re-air the episode, shelving it indefinitely. Over the years, rumors about the episode circulated among fans and media historians, generating substantial interest in finding a copy. Despite its relatively short run, episode 847 became a piece of sought-after lost media, especially after a partial script was discovered. This only served to intensify the intrigue, with fans combing through archives and reaching out to CTW, later renamed Sesame Workshop, in hopes of uncovering the full episode. In 2019, Sesame Street celebrated its 50th anniversary with a Lost and Found event at the Museum of the Moving Image in New York. Episode 847 was screened publicly for the first time here in over 4 decades, fueling excitement among fans. While access remained limited, the episode's inclusion in this event validated its status as a significant piece of Sesame Street history. Further, the episode was also archived in the Library of Congress, though access was restricted to private viewings. In June of 2022, an anonymous Reddit user, Sarsaparilla170170, uploaded the full episode, sparking immediate excitement and debate within the Lost Media community. While fans celebrated the availability of this forbidden episode, some suspected the upload was illicit, possibly the result of a data breach. The American Archive of Public Broadcasting, the AAPB, swiftly issued a statement expressing disappointment that private viewings of the episode were now restricted due to the unauthorized leak. News of the leak garnered attention in both mainstream media and lost media circles, leading many viewers who had seen the original airing in 1976 to recount their childhood memories of fear and fascination. For some fans, the rediscovery was deeply nostalgic, reigniting discussions about the role of fear in children's media and the changing standards in what's considered appropriate for young audiences. The controversy surrounding episode 847 led CTW to reevaluate how it handled effective learning themes, especially fear. In the years following, Sesame Street continued to address complex emotions, but with a more cautious approach, often utilizing friendly, familiar characters rather than introducing intense or threatening guest appearances. The episode became a case study in the balance between teaching emotional resilience and respecting developmental boundaries. The episode's rediscovery highlighted the growing influence and dedication of the lost media community. Episode 847 remains one of the community's most significant achievements, showcasing the power of collective memory and persistent fan interest in unearthing forgotten pieces of media history. This success has spurred further searches for lost media, encouraging archivists and fans alike to advocate for access to rare and historically significant content. Episode 847's legacy also inspired artistic reimaginings. In 2019, conceptual artist Alex DeCourte incorporated a reference to the Wicked Witch and Oscar the Grouch's encounter in his video Rubber Pencil Devil, presented at the 58th Venice Biennale. I don't know how to say that. This interpretation echoed the episode's themes of fear and resilience, emphasizing its cultural resonance decades later. The Wicked Witch episode endures as an iconic case within the lost media genre, exemplifying the social and historical value of media that challenges norms. Its rediscovery not only preserves a key chapter in Sesame Street's history, but also demonstrates the evolving conversation around children's content, media preservation, and public access. As both a cautionary tale and a cultural artifact, Episode 847 remains a focal point of study, debate, and fascination, underscoring the importance of archiving media for future generations, regardless of initial controversy. The Passion of Joan of Arc, directed by Carl Theodor Dreyer and released in 1928, is a landmark of silent film that profoundly influenced the art of filmmaking. Its origins trace back to the historical figure of Joan of Arc, a peasant girl who led the French army to victory during the 100 Years' War, and was later tried and executed for heresy. Dreyer's adaptation was inspired by the original trial transcripts of Joan's Inquisition, which were recovered and translated shortly before the film's production. This commitment to authenticity is evident in the film's dialogue, which closely mirrors the actual words spoken in the trial. Dreyer assembled a remarkable cast, notably Renee Jean Falconetti, whose portrayal of Joan is often regarded as one of the greatest performances in cinema history. The film's production, however, was fraught with challenges, including limited resources and technical difficulties. Despite these hurdles, Dreyer's vision materialized into a visually stunning narrative, characterized by its intimate close-ups, innovative lighting, and expressionistic cinematography, setting a new standard for visual storytelling. Upon its release, The Passion of Joan of Arc was met with mixed reviews, largely due to its unconventional style and the shifting dynamics of the film industry as sound cinema began to emerge. In the years following its premiere, many prints of the film were destroyed, including the original negative, which was lost in a fire in 1929. For decades, it was believed that the film was a relic of the past, with only a few surviving copies that were in poor condition. However, the film's rediscovery began in the late 1980s when a near-complete version was found in a janitor's closet in a Norwegian mental institution, of all places. This version, which included several scenes previously thought to be lost, was painstakingly restored by film archivists and began the basis for new screenings and restorations. The rediscovery highlighted the importance of preserving silent cinema and ignited renewed interest in Dreyer's work, leading to a critical reevaluation of his contributions to film as an art form. The Passion of Joan of Arc offers a poignant critique of the film's role in shaping public perception and influencing narrative. Through its depiction of Joan's trial, the film exposes how the media can manipulate truth and morality. The film's courtroom scenes illustrate the power dynamics at play, with the ecclesiastical court wielding authority over Joan, often twisting her words and intentions to fit their narrative. Dreyer's use of extreme close-ups captures the emotional turmoil of Joan, forcing the audience to confront her suffering and the injustice of her persecution. The film critiques the sensationalism inherent in media portrayals of historical figures, challenging viewers to consider the complex interplay between truth, narrative, and power. It underscores the fragility of human dignity when subjected to the relentless scrutiny of a biased media landscape. The influence of The Passion of Joan of Arc extends beyond its immediate historical context. Its innovative techniques, including the use of close-ups, unconventional editing, and naturalistic performances, have shaped the language of film, influencing generations of filmmakers. Directors such as Ingmar Bergman, Federico Fellini, and Martin Scorsese have cited Dreyer's work as a significant inspiration in their own cinematic journeys. The film's legacy also resonates within the lost media community, which strives to recover and preserve works that have been forgotten or destroyed. The Passion of Joan of Arc serves as a testament to the fragility of art and the importance of archiving. Its rediscovery emphasizes the potential for forgotten films to be revitalized, bringing light to narratives that speak to contemporary audiences. Also, the location in which it was found speaks to just how hard we must search for lost media, as it could literally be found anywhere, even the janitor's closet of a Norwegian mental institution. Who knows how many pieces of lost media are simply in some storage closet gathering dust right now? Furthermore, the film's exploration of themes like martyrdom, faith, and the struggles for justice continues to resonate in modern media, prompting filmmakers and artists to engage with complex social issues in their own works. The visual and thematic richness of The Passion of Joan of Arc has inspired adaptations and reinterpretations in various forms, including theater, opera, and contemporary cinema. The Passion of Joan of Arc remains a seminal work in film history, not only for its artistic achievements, but also for its broader implications regarding the relationship between media, truth, and memory. Its journey from obscurity to rediscovery has not only enriched the cinematic canon, but also highlighted the ongoing relevance of lost media in preserving cultural heritage. As both a film and a historical artifact, Dreyer's masterpiece continues to challenge and inspire, inviting audiences to reflect on the complexities of faith, identity, and the enduring power of storytelling. In the mid-1980s, Christopher and Philip Booth were early in their careers and willing to take on unconventional projects to support themselves. Working out of their home studio in Encino, Los Angeles, the brothers produced Ulterior Motives as a personal project, drawing on inspiration from new wave and synthpop, two dominant genres of the era. Christopher later revealed that the song's lyrics were born from personal experience, inspired by a former girlfriend he suspected of deceit. She was saying one thing, and you found out that she did another. This emotional theme of betrayal and hidden motives became central to the lyrics and the mysterious atmosphere that would later capture online listeners' imaginations. With an eye on income opportunities, the Booths began exploring different avenues in the entertainment industry, and eventually worked as production assistants on adult films. Through a connection in that industry, they were hired to provide music for the film Angels of Passion, where Ulterior Motives made its debut. Unknown to them, this decision would set the song on a unique path towards internet fame more than 3 decades later. On October 7th of 2021, Spanish internet user Carl92 posted a 17-second audio snippet to What's That Song, a website where users share unidentified songs for the community to solve. According to Carl92, the snippet had been discovered while browsing old files on a DVD backup and was likely a leftover from an earlier audio capture experiment. Little did Carl92 know, this short clip would ignite an enduring online search. With its melancholic tone and mysterious lyrics, the snippet intrigued listeners who speculated about the song's origin. Many believed it was from the 1980s, citing its distinctly retro instrumentation, which fans linked to the Lindrum drum machine and Yamaha DX7 synthesizer. Given the popularity of these instruments in the mid-1980s, theories pointed to a release date around 1984 to 1986, but no definitive answers were found. The song's fragment became a cultural phenomenon as internet sleuths analyzed and debated its lyrics, creating various reconstructions of what they believed the full song might sound like. Lyrics were misheard and transformed into guesses that ranged from "you're counting all the sheep in the sky" to "you're counting on the shifts in the tides." However, a consensus eventually emerged around the line, "Everyone knows that, you've got ulterior motives." With no official recording to reference, many questioned whether the song was a prank, with some speculating that it could have even been created with AI or for an obscure TV commercial. These theories fueled its popularity across Reddit, YouTube, and fan forums, where an enduring community formed to solve this puzzle. Dubbed one of the biggest and most enduring musical mysteries on the internet by The Guardian in early 2024, the song's mysterious identity continued to drive fans, amateur sleuths, and music enthusiasts alike. The mystery was ultimately solved in April of 2024 thanks to a breakthrough by Reddit users South Pole Ball and OneTruth5867. They identified Ulterior Motives as a background track in Angels of Passion, confirming the long-held theory that the song might have originated in adult film media. Shortly after the discovery, Christopher Booth himself confirmed authorship via an Instagram post, revealing that the true lyrics were "everyone knows it, not everyone knows that," as the snippet had led many to believe. This revelation ignited a flurry of activity online as the Booth brothers took an active role in engaging with their newly discovered fan base. Realizing the demand for the song, they announced plans to re-record Ulterior Motives due to the fact that key original elements such as the vocal and synth tracks had been lost over time. Only partial mixes of the track survived, but Christopher and Philip were determined to recreate and release it. On June 23, 2024, the remastered Ulterior Motives: The Lost Album, which included a new version of Ulterior Motives alongside 12 additional recordings from the 1980s, was released on streaming platforms and quickly gained traction among new fans. In a nod to the enduring legacy of The Search, the Booths didn't stop at simply re-recording Ulterior Motives. Christopher Booth confirmed that they were pursuing a new lead to find the original master mix, which they believed could be stored at a copyright registry office. This tantalizing prospect fueled excitement among fans, many of whom had followed the mystery for years and hoped to hear an authentic, untouched version of the track. If successful, the Booth brothers plan to release the original as soon as it is located. The creation of Ulterior Motives: The Lost Album was itself a journey. During the process of searching for the original song's elements, the Booth brothers discovered a box of unreleased 1980s recordings, prompting them to compile the album with these hidden gems. Due to a premature leak on DistroKid, the release date was moved up, adding to the suspense and excitement. Christopher later confirmed that parts of a rough mixdown of the original Ulterior Motives had been incorporated into the new version, with some elements being re-recorded to preserve the spirit of the song while addressing technical issues from the original. The journey of Ulterior Motives highlights the internet's role in reviving lost media, even from obscure origins. The song not only captivated listeners, but fostered a sense of community as fans came together to uncover the history of a track that might otherwise have vanished into obscurity. Many of these fans associated the song with a specific image, a purple boombox, which became emblematic of the song's 1980s nostalgia and DIY ethos. This image circulated widely on platforms like YouTube and Reddit, symbolizing the song's newfound life in digital spaces. Ultimately, Ulterior Motives: The Lost Album represents a unique blend of nostalgia and internet-driven discovery. Its success has reintroduced the Booth brothers to an entirely new audience, highlighting their work as pioneers in genre-blending music, as well as their adaptability in the digital age. For fans, the song has become an emblem of perseverance and the power of online communities to resurrect forgotten works. In retrospect, Ulterior Motives is not only a song, but a testament to the Booth brothers' creativity and the community-driven spirit of the internet. By engaging with the fanbase and actively working to share even more of their archival material, the Booth brothers have fostered a deep connection with their audience. Ulterior Motives stands as a modern myth, and its unexpected revival is a reminder that the digital age offers not only information, but the ability to rediscover and appreciate art from decades past, bringing together generations and proving that music truly knows no bounds.
Oh boy!
Mickey Mouse in Vietnam, officially titled Short Subject, stands as one of the most evocative pieces of underground animation from the Vietnam War era. Created in 1968 by Lee Savage and Milton Glaser, the short represents a stark departure from mainstream animation's traditional role as entertainment or advertisement. Instead, it emerges as a deeply satirical protest against the Vietnam War, utilizing the iconography of Mickey Mouse, Disney's symbol of innocence and global optimism, to deliver a biting critique of American militarism and disillusionment of the counterculture generation. The short film's journey from creation to obscurity and eventual rediscovery is a fascinating tale of cultural resistance, media censorship, and the resilience of lost media enthusiasts. This retrospective examines the film's origins, its disappearance and rediscovery, its critical content, and its legacy within the realms of protest art and the lost media community.
Oh boy!
The Vietnam War sparked widespread dissent in the United States, with artists and intellectuals seeking ways to voice their opposition. In this environment, Savage and Glazier collaborated to produce Short Subject for the Angry Arts Festival, a platform showcasing art as protest. According to Glazier, the film was intended as a stark commentary on the futility and violence of the war, using Mickey Mouse as a potent symbol of innocence corrupted. The production itself was modest, animated in 16mm, with no dialogue and a minimalist runtime of just over a minute. It opens with Mickey joyfully enlisting in the army after seeing a recruitment sign, traveling to Vietnam, and almost immediately being shot dead upon arrival. The image of Mickey's smiling face slowly morphing into a frown as blood pools around him is a haunting metaphor for the human cost of war and the dashed idealism of those who served. The film was never intended for commercial release and was exhibited sparingly at small gatherings and festivals, where it received a positive reception, even earning an award at the International Short Film Festival Oberhausen in 1970.
Oh boy!
Following its initial screenings, Mickey Mouse in Vietnam faded into obscurity. Myths arose that Disney, concerned about the unauthorized use of its mascot, sought to suppress the film by acquiring and destroying copies. While unproven, this narrative contributed to the aura of mystery surrounding the short. For decades, the film was thought lost, with its existence confirmed only through sparse documentation and secondhand accounts. A handful of frames appeared in the 1998 French book Bon Anniversaire Mickey and other niche publications, but access remained elusive. Even institutions like the Filmmakers Co-op in New York imposed strict rental conditions, limiting public viewings.
Oh boy!
The rediscovery of Short Subject in 2013 marked a turning point in its history. A YouTuber named Abad Higgins uploaded a version of the film they claimed to have rescued from a scrap bin, pairing it with System of a Down's Soldier Side intro. This version quickly garnered attention, bringing the short back into the spotlight. The upload attracted the notice of Milton Glaser and Adam Savage, who both acknowledged the rediscovery and reflected on the film's original intent. In 2018, a more complete version of the short surfaced courtesy of YouTuber CDCB2. This version featured the original soundtrack, including The Gonk by Herbert Chappell, along with opening and closing titles. It also demonstrated the precarious survival of the film, as the print showed signs of wear and fading. The fact that Short Subject lacked a copyright notice placed it in the public domain, allowing for its continued circulation despite Disney's potential objections.
Oh boy!
As a piece of protest art, Mickey Mouse in Vietnam is both audacious and profoundly unsettling. The short's minimalist design, lack of dialogue, and abrupt ending amplify its stark message. Mickey, an enduring icon of joy and innocence, is transformed into a tragic figure, embodying the naivete of those drawn into war under the guise of patriotism and adventure. The decision to avoid complex storytelling or technical polish underscores its underground roots, emphasizing the raw emotional impact over conventional narrative structure. While the animation may appear rudimentary compared to contemporary standards, its simplicity enhances the shock value of Mickey's sudden death.
Oh boy!
The legacy of Mickey Mouse in Vietnam extends beyond its immediate critique of the Vietnam War. Within the realm of protest art, it serves as a reminder of the power of subverting familiar symbols to provoke thought and challenge authority. Its inclusion in the 2022 Disney Plus documentary, Mickey, the Story of a Mouse, highlights how even controversial and unauthorized works contribute to the broader cultural narrative surrounding iconic figures. In the lost media community, the film represents a triumph of persistence and collaboration. Its rediscovery and subsequent accessibility exemplify how dedicated individuals can rescue forgotten pieces of art from obscurity, preserving them for future generations to study and appreciate.
Oh boy!
Mickey Mouse in Vietnam is more than just a provocative piece of animation. It is a cultural artifact that encapsulates the anxieties and defiance of its time. Its rediscovery underscores the importance of safeguarding marginalized and underground works, ensuring they remain part of our collective history. As a short, silent, and unsettling protest, Short Subject continues to resonate, reminding us of the enduring human cost of war and the role of art in challenging injustice.
Smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
Comrade Clean debuted in Chuck E. Cheese's September 1991 show tape known as Family Ties, performed by the animatronic drummer Pasquale. The song was a comedic celebration of cleanliness with a Cold War-era Soviet twist. At 2 minutes and 31 seconds, it was part of a 3-song segment alongside If You're Happy and You Know It and This Old Man. Designed to teach kids about responsibility through humor, it featured exaggerated Russian stereotypes, which would soon lead to its removal.
You can smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
Shortly after its premiere in test locations, Comrade Clean sparked concerns about its stereotypical portrayal of Russian culture. Parents and franchise owners alike questioned the appropriateness for a children's venue, particularly during a time when Soviet-American relations were still a sensitive topic. By the time Family Ties was officially rolled out, Comrade Clean was replaced by the more neutral track Rhythm of the Night. This decision quietly relegated the song to obscurity.
You can smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese show tapes from the early 1990s were frequently updated and often recorded over, leaving little archival material. Signals for the animatronic movements stored on floppy disks and audio for the songs were split across different media formats. Without formal preservation efforts, Comrade Clean faded into memory, with no known surviving copies of its complete segment. For years, the song became an urban legend among Chuck E. Cheese enthusiasts and animatronic historians.
You can smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
The first breakthrough came in 2022 when floppy disks containing the show's animatronic signals were found in a storage auction. Though the signals offered no audio, they confirmed Comrade Clean's choreography. The following year, in mid-2023, a tape with complete audio surfaced, and by December 24th of 2023, enthusiasts released a synchronized video featuring the recovered audio and signals. This rediscovery thrilled the lost media community and reignited discussions about the era's experimental content.
You can smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
The rediscovery of Comrade Clean highlights the importance of preserving entertainment history. While its content may now feel dated, it serves as a cultural artifact that reflects the humor and educational goals of the early 1990s. For fans of animatronic media and Chuck E. Cheese history, Comrade Clean is a reminder of how even the quirkiest and most short-lived creations can endure in memory and legacy. For those of you interested in experiencing the piece, the synchronized audio and video can be found on fan preservation channels and archives dedicated to Chuck E. Cheese media, and there will be a link in the description of this video if you'd like to go over and take a look at the full song of Comrade Clean. At its core, Miss Peach World is a modified version of Menace Beach, a 1990 unlicensed NES game developed by Color Dreams. In Menace Beach, the player controls a boy named Scooter on a skateboard battling through levels to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend from the villain Demon Dan. Hacker International acquired the game and extensively modified its graphics, transforming Scooter into Miss Peach, a character resembling Marilyn Monroe in a white dress. Despite being depicted as Princess Peach from Super Mario Bros. On the box art, the in-game character bore no connection to the Nintendo franchise. Other significant changes including Demon Dan becoming Janky Takamatsu, a mad scientist wielding a syringe, Juan Kapow being redesigned as Marin Brond, a mafia member, and Pelvis, originally a caricature of Elvis Presley, being replaced by Mr. Senkan, a tribal figure. One of the most infamous changes is that images of the tied-up girlfriend from Menace Beach have been replaced with full-on naked women. The music was replaced with a track from AV Dragon Mahjong, another Hacker International release, further connecting the game to their catalog of risque titles. The plot and presentation diverged wildly between the box art, gameplay, and cutscenes. The box described Miss Peach as a Los Angeles cop rescuing a girl from a kaiju-like monster called Okotendo. However, this narrative is entirely absent in the game, where the story focuses on a bizarre subplot involving a character named Assy. A prototype of the game titled Mr. Assy was discovered years later, providing insight into the inconsistencies of Miss Peach World. This version retained the Menace Beach graphics while including the same cutscenes later found in Miss Peach World. These cutscenes depicted Assy cheating on his girlfriend with another woman, with the girlfriend eventually discovering the infidelity and breaking up with him. The prototype suggests that Mr. Assy was an initial reworking of Menace Beach sent to Hacker International. However, dissatisfied with the limited graphical changes, Hacker International likely requested further modifications, resulting in Miss Peach World. The changes made during development led to the game being riddled with inconsistencies. First, narrative confusion. The box art described Miss Peach as a cop on a rescue mission, but this storyline is absent in the game. There are also cutscene discrepancies. Despite renaming the villain Janky Takamatsu, the cutscenes continued to refer to Demon Dan by name. The language choice. The cutscene dialogue was written in Romanji, which is Romanized Japanese, rather than Kana, possibly due to limitations in Color Dreams' engine or a cost-saving measure. And finally, graphics versus packaging. The box art included unused assets such as Pelvis and the original fire hydrant design, which had been altered in-game. Like many unlicensed games, Miss Peach World had a limited production run, likely distributed through adult shops in Japan alongside other Hacker International titles. Its controversial content and niche appeal contributed to this rarity, with physical cartridges becoming highly sought after by collectors. The game occasionally appeared in Japanese retro game shops, sometimes priced over $200, and was sporadically listed on eBay. Despite these sightings, the game remained largely inaccessible to the broader retro gaming community. On August 26th of 2017, a user named Famiac on the Lost Levels forum uploaded the Miss Peach World ROM, marking the first time the game was made widely available. The release sparked renewed interest in the title, with retro gaming enthusiasts analyzing its bizarre alterations, puzzling story, and unique place in unlicensed gaming history. Miss Peach World embodies the strange and chaotic energy of unlicensed games. Its mismatched storytelling, recycled assets, and risque content reflect the resourceful yet disorganized nature of bootleg development in the early 1990s. The rediscovery of Miss Peach World has preserved its legacy, ensuring its place as both a curiosity and a cautionary tale in gaming history. While it may not have the polish or coherence of mainstream titles, its eccentricities offered a fascinating window into the untamed world of unlicensed gaming. By piecing together its fragmented story and development history, Miss Peach World reminds us of the importance of preserving even the most unconventional artifacts of gaming culture. Noah's Ark was developed during the mid-1990s, a period rich with experimentation in the adventure game genre. The game was spearheaded by Kenichi Shigeto, who contributed as an artist, and Kazuhiro Nishimatsu, who composed the music. Both developers had experience in their respective fields, but specific details about their careers remained sparse, emphasizing how niche the game was even at the time of its creation. The narrative of Noah's Ark is rooted in speculative science fiction set in the year 2100, where humanity faces existential threats from overpopulation and environmental collapse. As Earth deteriorates, efforts to terraform Mars are underway, but the discovery of a mysterious ancient tower disrupts these plans. Built billions of years ago, the 7-story tower becomes the focus of an investigation team. The player, tasked with uncovering its secrets, featuring an AI companion, the game's plot was lauded for its originality and its blend of hard sci-fi with archaeological intrigue. Despite its innovative premise, Noah's Ark failed to achieve widespread recognition upon release. Limited marketing and a niche target audience likely contributed to its obscurity. Compounding the issue was the transitional nature of the gaming market in the 1990s, as console gaming began to dominate over PC titles in Japan. By the 2000s, the game had all but vanished. The few known references included scans from obscure gaming magazines and mentions on early web pages. A Japanese and an English-language website for Noah's Ark lingered online for years, providing tantalizing glimpses of the game but no tangible means of accessing it. The resurgence of interest in Noah's Ark began in 2021 when a thread on the 4chan X board discussed the game's mysterious history. Around the same time, a user named Tuskaki368 posted about the game on the Lost Media Wiki forums, sparking a community-wide effort to uncover its origins and rediscover the title itself. Some key milestones in the search included July 15, 2021, when user Peachy Keen discovered a listing for Noah's Ark on Yahoo Auctions Japan, which featured images of the game's box. February 9, 2021, Saint, a prominent contributor to the Lost Media Wiki forums, unearthed 2 scans from Game Blast magazine, showcasing screenshots and confirming an October 5, 1995 release date. December 31, 2021, a trailer of Noah's Ark was shared by Saint, sourced from the cover disc of a 1996 issue of Digital Boy magazine. And March 28th of 2023, when user Tenacious Nix uploaded scans from the Log On magazine's October 1995 issue, which included a walkthrough and new details about the gameplay and story, such as the AI companion feature. These incremental discoveries built momentum and expanded the collective understanding of the game, culminating in its eventual rediscovery. On November 23, 2024, Saint, whose official username is Beanstalk Redump, achieved a major breakthrough by purchasing a copy of Noah's Ark from a Japanese auction site. Saint subsequently uploaded the game online, making it accessible to the public for the first time in nearly 3 decades. The upload included the full game files, scans of the box art, and supplementary materials, providing a comprehensive look at this once-lost title. The rediscovery of Noah's Ark had a profound impact on both the Lost Media and gaming communities. In the Lost Media community, the success of the search underscores the power of collaborative efforts and the value of preserving ephemeral cultural artifacts. The Noah's Ark saga has inspired renewed interest in other obscure titles, proving that even the most elusive works can be found with persistence and resourcefulness. In the gaming community, Noah's Ark has been hailed as a unique relic of 1990s gaming, offering insight into the narrative and design trends of the era. Its blend of environmental themes and ancient mysteries resonates with contemporary audiences, sparking discussions about its potential influence on modern sci-fi games. The rediscovery has also led to calls for an official re-release or remaster, with fans expressing a desire to see the game preserved on modern platforms. Additionally, discussions around Noah's Ark have opened new avenues for academic study, particularly in the fields of game history and digital archaeology. The rediscovery of Noah's Ark exemplifies the enduring allure of Lost Media and the lengths to which enthusiasts will go to preserve forgotten pieces of cultural history. Through the efforts of a dedicated community, a once obscure adventure game has reclaimed its place in the annals of gaming history, ensuring that its legacy will continue to inspire and captivate future generations.
And it's gone.
The two-part storyline 200 and 201 was designed to celebrate the show's milestone 200th episode. It featured a massive cast of returning characters and callbacks to iconic plotlines, exemplifying the creator's penchant for biting, no-holds-barred satire. Central to the story was the lawsuit brought by a group of celebrities, led by Tom Cruise, against the town of South Park. The celebrities demand the town deliver Muhammad to them as part of a plot to gain the goo of immunity from public ridicule. Muhammad, a character Parker and Stone had previously depicted without controversy in 2001's episode Super Best Friends, became a lightning rod for criticism. In a world more sensitized post 9/11, revisiting Muhammad as part of a satire about public outrage and celebrity entitlement was seen as a significant risk. The episodes also tied together long-running story arcs, including Cartman's search for his father, which concluded with a darkly humorous revelation about his origins.
And it's gone.
The decision to depict Muhammad, even veiled in satire, immediately drew condemnation. Following the airing of 200, the radical organization Revolution Muslim posted a warning implying that Parker and Stone risked violent retribution akin to the 2004 murder of filmmaker Theo Van Gogh. The organization's post included the address of Comedy Central's offices and referenced sermons advocating violence against those who defame Muhammad. In response, Comedy Central took unprecedented steps to censor the subsequent episode 201. Every mention of Muhammad's name was bleeped out, and visual representations were obscured with a censored bar. Additionally, entire monologues from Kyle, Jesus, and Santa explaining the moral about the dangers of intimidation were muted, rendering the episode's conclusion incomprehensible to viewers. This heavy censorship sparked a massive debate about the limits of free expression, the role of media in challenging extremist ideologies, and the power of threats in shaping creative decisions.
And it's gone.
Following its initial airing on April 21, 2010, 201 was pulled from rotation and never re-aired on Comedy Central. The network also barred its release on streaming platforms like Hulu and home video formats, citing safety concerns for employees and viewers alike. This censorship extended to 200, which had already aired uncensored, and to the earlier episode Super Best Friends. These episodes became known as banned in certain regions, including the Netherlands, Sweden, and the Middle East. For years, the uncensored versions of 200 and 201 were inaccessible to the public. Despite their notoriety, even physical home media releases retained the censorship, further fueling speculation and intrigue among fans and media historians. The episodes became emblematic of the cultural and political tensions of the time, often discussed in the context of rising global extremism and corporate self-censorship.
And it's gone.
As the years passed, the quest for the uncensored versions of 200 and 201 became a hallmark within the lost media community. Fans scoured archives, torrents, and international broadcasts, hoping to uncover what had become modern cultural relics. The mystery surrounding the missing content, particularly Kyle's censored moral speech, added to their mystique. Meanwhile, Parker and Stone remained vocal about their dissatisfaction with the censorship, but were bound by legal agreements with Comedy Central, preventing them from distributing the original episodes. Their silence on the matter only deepened the aura of the enigma.
And it's gone.
In January 2014, an uncensored version of 201 was leaked online after a user on 4chan discovered that the episode could be downloaded from the South Park Studios website using a specific tool. The leak revealed the previously muted moral speech in which Kyle, Jesus, and Santa sarcastically state that the only real power lies in violence and intimidation, a stark critique of societal capitulation to threats. The rediscovery was celebrated by fans and lost media enthusiasts alike. For many, The leak validated years of speculation about the episode's content and underscored the lengths to which networks might go to avoid controversy.
And it's gone!
The legacy of 200 and 201 extends far beyond their plotlines or humor. These episodes serve as case studies in the complex dynamics of creative expression, corporate responsibility, and the power of public reaction. The episodes highlight the challenges faced by creators of provocative content in a world where global sensitivities and safety concerns intersect. They remain a stark reminder of the limits placed on even satirical media when addressing deeply controversial topics. Comedy Central's actions sparked significant backlash, with critics arguing that the network's capitulation to threats empowered extremists. Columnists like Margaret Wendt and Michael Kavanagh condemned the censorship as a chilling precedent, warning that it incentivized violence as a means of control. The episode's censorship and subsequent inaccessibility transformed them into legendary artifacts within the lost media community. Their rediscovery highlighted the role of fan communities in preserving cultural history and reinforced the enduring fascination with restricted or suppressed content. The controversy surrounding 200 and 201 shed light on the broader societal struggles with freedom of expression and fear. The episodes remain a sobering commentary on how terror can stifle not just individuals, but entire industries.
And it's gone!
The uncensored versions of 200 and 201 are more than just lost episodes of a satirical cartoon. They are symbols of the delicate balance between free speech and societal safety. Their journey from creation to censorship, loss, and rediscovery reflects the broader tensions of the 21st century. As cultural artifacts, they challenge us to consider the cost of yielding to fear and the importance of protecting creative freedom, even in the face of profound opposition. In 1983, Fex, a rock band from Kiel, Germany, recorded Subways of Your Mind during their short-lived career. Known for their wave and pop sound, Fex consisted of Tur Ruckworth, Michael Hardrick, Hans Riemer Sievers, and Norbert Zierman. The track was featured on a demo tape but never received wide distribution. It found brief life on the airways of Norddeutscher Rundfunk, NDR, during a program for youth-oriented music in the mid-1980s, before fading into obscurity. One teenager, Darius S., unknowingly preserved a fragment of music history. Using a cassette recorder, he captured the song from an NDR broadcast. On his tape, it was cryptically labeled as "Blind the Wind 1983. For decades, this lone recording was the song's only tether to public consciousness. In the 2000s, Darius's sister Lydia digitized his mixtape and began the quest to identify the song. The search started on early forums like Usenet, but gained little traction. It wasn't until 2017 when a snippet of the song was uploaded to YouTube by Dead Wax Records that it caught the attention of music enthusiasts worldwide. By 2019, the song had gone viral, dubbed the most mysterious song on the internet. The track's haunting synths, melancholic vocals, and elusive origins fueled internet sleuths across platforms like Reddit, Discord, and YouTube. Subreddits like r/the mysterious song became epicenters of collaborative research. Speculation abounded, with theories ranging from obscure European artists to one-off studio projects. Some believed the Yamaha DX7 synthesizer, prominent in the track, was a clue, tying its creation to 1983 or later. In November of 2024, Reddit user Maragin1412 uncovered a clue in a German newspaper mentioning Fex, a band that had participated in Horfest, a northern German music event. Margin contacted for surviving band members who confirmed Fex as the creators of Subways of Your Mind. The final confirmation came when a demo featuring the song and live recording surfaced, authenticating its origins. The rediscovery was bittersweet. While the demo version and live performances were intact, the master tape of the studio version, the same one played on the radio, remains lost. The identification of Subways of Your Mind marked the end of a 17-year search but left an enduring impact. The story inspired countless covers, remixes, and tributes. The internet coined the term Lost Wave to describe similar forgotten songs, creating a subculture dedicated to rediscovering lost audio relics. For Fex, the rediscovery brought a renewed spotlight. In November 2024, 3 of the 4 original members reunited to perform an acoustic version of the song on German radio. Fans clamored for more of their unreleased work, which had also been unearthed during the search. Subways of the Mind also transcended its musical origins, appearing in various media, including MyHouse.wad, a Doom 2 mod, where it became a haunting emblem of liminal space aesthetics. The journey of Subways of Your Mind reinvigorated interest in lost media. Communities that formed during its search continue to thrive, focusing on other enigmatic tracks and forgotten creations. The phenomenon demonstrated the internet's power as a collective archive, where fragmented memories could be pieced together into a cohesive narrative. The rediscovery was more than just an answer to a mystery, it was a celebration of the resilience of memory and the importance of preserving our cultural artifacts. For many, Subways of Your Mind will forever symbolize the joy of rediscovery and the enduring allure of the unknown. The journey to rediscover the origins of the most mysterious song reminds us that even the most ephemeral pieces of media can leave an indelible mark, connecting people across time and space through shared curiosity and determination. And that's our Supercut, everyone. I do so hope you enjoyed it. Go enjoy the rest of your New Year's Day and have a great 2025. I'll see you next week. And until then, I'm Mr. Sean. This is Chimera Miniatures, and I sincerely hope that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the show. We hope you'll stick around. Mr. Sean is here to entertain the crowd. We've got a bit of everything, 'cause everything's allowed. Chimera Miniatures is here to stay. We hope we make you proud. Oh, we're diving deep into the dark and the strange, finding the relics that time couldn't cage. Lost and found, buried underground. Bringing to light what's been hidden and bound. The Chimera stage, we set them free. Mr. Sean, he's got the key. From forgotten cartoons to shadows that creep both the ages into dusty deep. There's footage from realms that no one's seen, where neckbeard legends haunt the screen. It's the stories that doubt, the punch too rare. Mr. Sean finds it all and brings it to air. Oh, we're diving deep into the dark and the strange, finding the relics that time couldn't cage. Lost and found, buried underground. Bringing to light what's been hidden and bound. The Chimera stage, we set them free. Mr. Sean, he's got the key. With tales of incels and lore from the past, every lost clip from back at last. Creepypastas with the stories that bite, unseen reels lost deep in the night. Custom miniatures crafted so fine, heroes and villains that Sean designs. Back in his workshop, the brushes are seen, painting his figures in eerie sheen. Next to the rare finds obscure and grim, lost media secrets unveiled by him, where pixels fade and memories hide. Mr. Sean's channel is our creepy guide. Oh, we're diving deep into the dark and the strange, finding the relics that time couldn't cage. Lost and found, buried underground. Bring it to light, must be hidden and bound. Like Chimera stage, we set them free. Mr. Shawnee's got the key. So tune in, there's wonders to see. In Chimera miniatures, mystery spree. From neckbeard law to horror so proud. Lost media finds that sing out loud. Chimera miniatures, weird and wise. With Mr. Shawn, the strange survives. So tune in, there's wonders to see. In Chimera miniatures, mystery spree. From neckbeard law to horror so proud. Lost media finds that sing out loud. Chimera miniatures, weird and wise. With Mr. Shawn, the strange survives.